Hello again, everybody. This is Steve Kallas, speaking of sports, and we're going to look back at last weekend's two AFC divisional playoff games. You can find the NFC divisional playoff games on another video. But first, we're going to talk about the stunning to many upset of the Ravens by the Titans. The final score was 28-12, and the Titans were able, despite the video game numbers that Lamar Jackson, the Ravens quarterback, put up, they were able to stop him early on when it really counted. They got a big lead. It was really difficult for the Ravens to come back, and the knock on the Ravens was, could they do what they do? Incredible running game. Could they do what they do and come from behind? They'd already lost two games that they were behind 10-0. In this game, when they went behind 14-0, there really wasn't much they can do. It was pretty incredible. But once the Titans had a 14-0 lead, and Derrick Henry, the rushing champion, who just tore up the Ravens defense. Now, the only thing I'll say in the Ravens defense, not about their defense, but in their defense, was Ingram was hurt, and Lamar Jackson is great, but he's even greater when he has Ingram, who's a very good running back in his own right. And he had a calf injury, and he played a little, but he really wasn't Ingram. And as a result of that, I thought it was much easier, frankly, for the Titans to win the game. All the Titans did was they just gave the ball to Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill, their quarterback, threw for 88 yards. It's the second game in a row he threw for under 100 yards. That's like unheard of in the NFL today. But they have the running game. That's how they won the game. And I just want to talk about a couple of plays in this game as well. And specifically, you probably knew this, on 4th and 1, the Ravens were 8 for 8 this year. They had never missed. But they had two times in this game, and I'm going to give you the exact time when these things happened. The first play of the second quarter, 4th and 1 on their own 45. Jackson is in a shotgun formation, which is unusual to me. Normally you see Tom Brady or somebody come up under center if they're going to do a quarterback sneak. I understand Jackson's a better runner than any quarterback in football, but you don't want to be 4 or 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage if you're just going for 1 yard and everybody in the place knows you're going for 1 yard. And sure enough, they snapped it to Lamar Jackson. He tried to make a move, but he got hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he never got the 1 yard. And that turned the ball over immediately to Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. In the very next play, the first play, he threw a 45-yard bomb for a touchdown. So that really put them in a big hole. I understand they were 8 for 8. Maybe they ran shotgun, but it's unusual to run shotgun on 4th and 1, and that didn't work out for them. And again, the next play was a 45-yard touchdown pass to Raymond that, really hurt the Ravens. The second play, 10:02 left in the third quarter. It's 4th and inches at the Titans 17-yard line. The Ravens have the ball, and they're down 14-6. This time they put Jackson under center. Now again, maybe Ingram's not available, the power running back who maybe could do these 4th and 1s. He was hurt. But Jackson's under center. He takes the snap. He literally runs to his right. And again, he's only trying to go, in this case, not even a yard, about a half a yard forward, literally 18 inches. And he runs to his right, and there's nothing there. So he turns around and runs to his left, and there's nothing there. So he gets tackled for a loss. And that really put them in a hole that they never crawled out of. So give the Titans tremendous credit. They have a tremendous running game. They have a very good defense. And even though Lamar Jackson, he threw for 365 yards, he rushed for 143 yards, that's 508 yards of offense. But he kind of did it between the 20s. He really couldn't get them into the end zone. So statistically, he had a great game, but the reality for the Ravens and for Lamar Jackson is he's going to have to improve as a pocket passer. That clearly was the game plan. And I think he improved a lot from last year to this year as a pocket passer, but if he wants to win Super Bowls, and I certainly thought they had a chance to, he's going to have to improve from this year to next year as a pocket passer. I want to go now to the other game, which was also a wacky game. The Texans were winning 24-0, and the Chiefs won 51-31. It's the greatest turnaround in the history of the playoffs. The Chiefs were actually down 20 or more in the first half, and by the end of the half, they had the lead. And they won by 20. That's never happened in the history of the playoffs. It was such a crazy game. The Chiefs made a lot of mistakes early. Kelsey, who's great, dropped 2 passes. They had 5 drops in the first quarter. So Mahomes, who is great, can't help it if he, if his guys drop 5 passes, 2 of them on 3rd down, which would have been first downs. They made a lot of mistakes. Tyreek Hill lost a kickoff, and they recovered it, and they scored right away, the Titans. So, it looked like a blowout early. I certainly thought Kansas City could come back, but as it went from 7 to 14 to 21 to 24, you're like, can they really do it? And the answer is yes, they can really do it. What they've done has never happened in the playoffs before. Starting in the second quarter, when he threw 4 touchdown passes in one quarter, they got the ball 7 straight times, and they scored 7 straight touchdowns. That's never happened in the playoffs in the National Football League. So you have to give the Chiefs credit. They're so explosive. Kelsey had 3 touchdown catches all in the quarter. The all-time record in the playoffs. I will say, not to take away from what they did, but the 3 touchdown passes were 2 were from 5 yards, and 1 was from 6 yards. So again, they're touchdown passes, but it's not like he was throwing the ball down the field. But it's irrelevant because they won the game 51 to 31. There's nothing the Texans could do to stop them. Again, think about it: 7 consecutive possessions, 7 consecutive touchdowns. I think they said someone else had done it 6 times, but nobody had ever done it 7 times. And that was the ball game. It went from a Texans blowout to a Chiefs blowout. And again, that never happens, especially in the playoffs. I do want to talk about 2 plays again, as I like to do. I thought the hidden MVP of the game was Daniel Sorensen, number 49. He doesn't get a lot of pub with the Chiefs because they're loaded with stars. But here are the 2 plays I wanted to talk about. The Texans up 24-7. It's 4th and 4 from their own 31. So Bill O'Brien, the coach, got hammered for even trying this, but they tried a fake punt. And Sorensen, who was on that side of the field playing, for Kansas City, of course, he came through. It's 1-on-1. If he doesn't tackle the guy, they're going to get that first down. Why you would do it 30 yards from your own end zone, winning 24-7, that's a different question. But Sorensen made a fantastic open field tackle. The Chiefs get the ball on the Texans 33-yard line. And what do? They march down the field and score. So it was 24-7. That made it 24-14. So you're like, well, it's only the second quarter. It's a game now. But here's what happens. On the next possession, the Texans have to punt. And they go back to punt. And I take that back. I'm sorry. The Chiefs kick it off, and the Texans are bringing the ball back on the kickoff, the ensuing kickoff. And 26 seconds later, Sorensen goes down the field. He's playing on kickoffs as well. He tackles the guy, and he makes the guy fumble, and the Chiefs pick up the fumble. And literally another minute later, they score to make it 24-21. So by then you're saying, yikes, this is unbelievable. And this guy Sorensen made 2 plays that you don't always pay much attention to. Stop a guy in a fake punt, cause a fumble on the ensuing kickoff. And Patrick Mahomes, in that time span, he threw 3 touchdown passes in 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Think about that. So the game really got turned around. I think Sorensen was the key with his 2 plays. Again, he didn't get a lot of pub for it because Mahomes, 5 touchdown passes. Kelsey, I just want to read you his video game numbers: 10 catches for 134 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was just unbelievable turnaround. But I think Sorensen was the star because he really took them in a position being down 24-7 to being down 24-21 solely because he made 2 great plays. So it's going to be the Chiefs and the Titans in the AFC Championship game. We'll do a preview video of both of those games coming up. AFC and NFC, they're coming up this weekend. But once again, Chiefs 51, Texans 31 in an incredible comeback victory. This is Steve Kallas speaking of sports. We'll see you the next time.